Hello, this is Bobby Cappuccio. I just got done reading Frank Ferenczak's The Ultimate Fitness Formula on PT on the Net, and I think Frank Ferenczak has a very rare and therefore valuable combination of intellect and empathy. And I was reading through this, a lot of ideas came to my mind. It's a great read. It's almost mandatory reading for any working or aspiring fitness professional, in my opinion. But a couple of things popped into my head. And the first is 2 points of contention I kind of have with the self-help industry. On one side of the equation in self-help is the belief that you're responsible for everything that happens to you because everything that happens to you is within your control. On the other hand is the preaching in self-help that nothing that happens to you is your responsibility because it's all somehow beyond your control. Somebody else did it to you. And I think somewhere in the middle is the truth, and I don't think either of those beliefs are very accurate and therefore very helpful. And my friend and colleague Paul Taylor likes to quote Nobel laureate Eric Kandel in that genes are not deterministic, and that means that regardless of our genetic predispositions, change is possible for all of us. But I think on the other hand, what Frank Ferenczak points out is also very true and needs to be integrated into that mental model, which is there are a myriad of elements related to our epigenetics, related to our biology, our biochemistry, our neuroanatomy, not to mention our external environment that greatly influences us. So while change is possible, it's not the same journey. And it's not the same level of difficulty for everyone. Some people might have an easier go of it. Some people might find changes nearly impossible. Maybe the hardest thing they've ever had to struggle with. And psychologist Eric Berne, back in 1964, put out a book called Games People Play. This is a brilliant read, and I would recommend it to everybody watching this right now. And the games that we play with a lot of clients that we come in contact with is that we credit our success with some internal, quote-unquote, positive attribute we possess. And I'm not saying this is everyone, but we refuse to accept all of the epigenetic, biological, neuroanatomical, environmental struggles that Frank Ferenczak points out that our clients have to endure on a daily basis. And we say, well, if you're not getting success in lieu of the fact that I've told you what to eat, I've given you the correct exercise program, it must be your negativity. It must be some attribute or characteristic you lack. In other words, I'm good, you're bad. And what that does is it adds to their struggle with shame and guilt and probably reinforces, not alleviates, the internal problems that made them seek us out in the first place. So not only is it not helpful, it's not accurate, and a lot of times it's very harmful. So what do we do? And to answer that, I love the quote from playwright George Bernard Shaw when he says, "This is the true joy in life, the being used for a purpose, recognized by yourself as a mighty one. The being a force of nature instead of a feverish and selfish clod of ailments, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy." And I think there are 2 points of insight there that are invaluable. One, if we're going to help our clients, we need to help them be used for a purpose recognized by themselves, not by society, not by us, but recognized by themselves as a mighty one. And the second point speaks to what Paul Chek talks about quite often, and that is help them crystallize and expand their vision for what their personal dream is. Because if they're going to make it, they need a dream that is bigger than their current reality. They need a future vision bigger than their current fears, bigger than their current struggles. So we truly do need to be the guide by the side, not the sage on the stage. And I think one of the most important things we can do as fitness professionals is help people make their daily journey. Because the problem is, sometimes people get a clear idea, thanks to our help, of where they want to be in the future, but they don't believe it's possible. They can't see themselves completing that journey. So a lot of times our job is to just help them go as far as they can see, because when they get there, they'll see further.